press the bell icon on the YouTube app and never miss another update.
Hi students, in the previous unit of magnetism and magnetic effect of electric current, we come to know that a charge at rest only produce electric field, but a charge in motion produce both electric as good as the magnetic field. Both are in mutually perpendicular planes, and also magnetic field is perpendicular to the direction of velocity of the charge particle. But in this chapter we are going to see the magnetic force on a charge particle. That means when we made a charge particle to move in a magnetic field, it experiences a force. What is the origin for the force or the reason for the force, why it experiences, and also on what factors it depends, and its applications we have to see in this unit. And one of the important device as a cyclotron, which is used to accelerate the charge particles to high energy. However, if we go back to the electrostatics, we learned that a charge at rest, initial velocity may be 0, or a charge in motion, moving charge with a definite velocity or a speed parallel to the direction of the electric field, either at rest or in motion, experiences a force of electrostatic that we come to know E into Q. Because you know, force per unit charge, you defined it as electric field intensity. E into Q gives you the force. Similarly, force, if you want acceleration, the charge particle experiencing is EQ by M. It is, I am talking about the force experienced by a charge in an electric field. We have discussed in detail in electrostatic chapter. And this acceleration, suppose if it has some initial velocity u, which is not 0 or it may be 0, we can find after some time what may be its velocity. U plus at can be written as EQ by M into T, which help you to know the time. Or the distance covered, if it is covered some distance x in certain time t, x can be written as x half a. In place of a, I can write EQ by M into T square. Or you can use the equation V square equal to U square plus 2 into EQ by M into x, the distance covered. So regarding charge, when it is moving parallel to electric field, we have that come to know whether the charge at rest you place in the electric field or it is moving, experiences a force EQ or acceleration, what may be the velocity after certain time, or what is the distance described, what acceleration it experiences, all can be estimated directly from these relations. It is the simple case I told that in an electric field, charge experience a force parallel to the direction of the field. Let us think another case. If it is projected perpendicular to the electric field, suppose the closed electric field between the two plates, imagine a uniform electric field acting vertically upward, and if I projected a charged particle, if it is the x direction and this may be the y. Now, as it is moving with a certain speed, initial speed is u, having charge q and mass m, the charge is projected into the electric field perpendicular to the electric field. If I take along x direction, its velocity is constant because no force is acting. It is parallel to the ground, therefore there is no gravitational force or even the electrostatic force is absent because field component along x direction is 0. But uy is 0 initial velocity. Uy is 0, but ux is equal to u we have. And again, second point, if imagine force along the x direction is 0. No force along the x direction, u remains constant. But force along y direction exists, that is EQ. Because of this force, slowly the charge particle experiencing a force in the field direction as positive charge, slowly its path goes on changes and it emitted out of the electric field given, which is of length x imagined. Now the path we see for the charge particle of this. Let it be the y distance it covered in that time when charge traveled through a distance x meter along x direction. EQ, therefore, think about the acceleration. Ax is 0 because no force, but Ay is equal to EQ by m. It is experiencing an acceleration along y direction, along x direction is 0. And the fourth, time taken to travel, t can be written as x by v, since you know v is equal to x by t. Particle is moving with uniform velocity. If it is u, I can write initial velocity remains same as u equal to x by t or t equal to x by u. During that time, the particle covered along the y-axis in the field direction some distance because of the acceleration it is experiencing or force experiencing due to the electric field. So therefore, I can write what is the y distance covered is ut plus y direction uyt is 0. Uy is 0, therefore I am not writing this. Uy is 0, only take half into at square is eq by mt square, or y is equal to half eq by m into x by v, x by u whole square. That is the distance covered along y direction taking initial velocity 0, therefore ut 0, half eq by m x u whole square. Or if you want at the exiting point, the velocity in this direction is fixed u, that is ux, in the direction may be vy. What is vy can be written? Initial velocity is 0, it is nothing but eq by m into t. The t is this. Therefore, if I want velocity at the exiting point, root of u square plus vy whole square. So thus all data can be estimated. And if you look into this relation, all other factors are constant except y is proportional to x square, which suggests path of the charge particle in the electric field when it enters perpendicular to the electric field is a parabola. The path that we get here, y proportional to x square, when the charge particle enters perpendicular to the electric field, path of the charge particle inside the electric field is a parabola. Suppose if it enters parallel, it is a straight line. It is a straight line. So that is more clear. I hope you are followed the situation what we discussed in the electrostatic. A charge moving parallel to electric field experience a force, whether it rests or it is moving with a certain velocity. Acceleration, velocity after time t, distance covered in time t, or velocity in terms of u square and x. And path of the charge particle when enter parallel, it is a straight line. When coming to the other case, when the charge enters perpendicular to electric field, initial velocity perpendicular to electric field remains constant, but in the direction initially 0, in the perpendicular to the field force 0, only along the direction of the field exists, the force exists and acceleration have, that given us the time taken to travel x distance perpendicular to the electric field, distance covered in the direction of the electric field, which clearly suggests path of the charged particle inside the electric field when it enters the electric field perpendicularly, parabola, the equations. So with the knowledge of this, when we enter into the magnetic field, what happens to the charge we have to see. Similarly, here it experiences a force and we are seeing the similar situations, the force experiencing by a charged particle when it is moving in a magnetic field. So let us consider a magnetic field, a uniform magnetic field acting horizontal to the board. This is the uniform magnetic field. Acting along this direction. This is the direction of the field B. Let us imagine a charged particle Q and of mass m entering, making certain angle with respect to B. The velocity vector, which is making an angle theta with the direction of the field. It is observed that it experiences a force in a plane perpendicular to the plane containing the both B and V, the force. The force that experienced by a moving charge is shown to be equal to Q into V cross B. Is an equation. It is a vector. It is a vector having magnitude F equal to QVB sin theta. And a direction of this can be obtained by Fleming's left hand rule. This is the force it experiences. Why experiences I tell later. Just consider here the case. When the force equal to, I can write magnitude as a BQV sin theta. It is a cross product of two vectors. When theta is 0, or 180 degree, suggests that the force becomes 0 because sin 0 or sin theta. That means parallel to the direction of the magnetic field. Either the charge move parallel to the direction of the magnetic field or it move opposite to the direction of the magnetic field, force is 0. But when it is maximum, force become maximum equal to BQV when theta equal to 90 degree. That means if the field in the direction and charge enters perpendicular to the magnetic field with the angle 90 degree, the force is maximum. For other angles other than 0, 180 or 90, it has the value that is equal to this. It swings between 0 to maximum equal to BQV. Why it happens so? What is the origin of the force then? Let us imagine here, when the charge is moving, it produces a magnetic field. In the beginning of this class I told. So whenever you think here, so a charge, this is the direction of the magnetic field. A uniform magnetic field is existing in this region. When a charge is moving in some direction, the value q, you come to know that whenever it is having velocity in one direction, perpendicular to the velocity you have a magnetic field. A magnetic field due to the charge moving produced. This is making an angle theta, and it may be 90 minus theta. Now you can have a component of that. I can write as a BQ cos 90 minus theta. Now we are getting a magnetic field of the moving charge. Already there is a field, external field is existing, but this field which is generated by the motion of the charge is making some angle with respect to that field, existing field. There is a superposition or interaction. This interaction is opposed by the existing field B. This opposes. Opposing means it is not just opposes the field because it opposes the agent which brought it. Who brought that one? Charge brought this field. If charge at rest or charge is not giving the interaction of the field of its own even though it is moving, then there is no problem for it. If there is any interaction comes from the field generated by the motion of the charge is opposed by the field, and this field opposes that interaction, thereby it wants to push the charge out of the magnetic field. That means it has to push out of the field. Therefore, the charge has to be pushed perpendicular to the direction of both B and V. It moves perpendicular to the direction, wants to come out of the field. How this may be cleared is, let us think in this case what happens. When the charge is moving parallel to the magnetic field, what is the direction of the field you are thinking? It is perpendicular. It is the charge that produces the magnetic field. What is the angle between BQ and B? Is a 90 degree. What is the interaction? What is the component of that cos 90? 0. Cos 90 is 0. No interaction at all. When there is no interaction of the field, then we say that external field will not give a force on this. If there is an interaction of this generated field due to the motion of the charge interacts with B, B opposes the charge motion. If there is no interaction is causing, there is no question of the force appearing. Therefore, the charge will not experience force even at rest. I say even at rest, if velocity is 0, you know, charge at rest produce only the electric field, not the magnetic field. No interaction at all, it become friendly, and no opposition for the charge at rest or charge moving parallel to the magnetic field. Field produced by the charge become perpendicular, its interaction becomes 0, therefore no force at all. But if it become, as the interaction goes on increases, I taken the case another one, it is the direction of B for this, and charge moving perpendicular means 90 degree, interaction become maximum. This is the charge moving in this direction, magnetic field produced will be in line parallel to B, maximum interaction, maximum force, that is equal to BQV. The reason I hope you are followed, why the force the charge experiences while moving in the magnetic field is the moving charge. First you remember, moving charge produces a magnetic field. It is in a plane perpendicular to the velocity vector. This field, if have an interaction with the existing field, then existing field opposes this interaction and wants to take off the charge from the region of the field. That is the force experiences, and it is in the direction perpendicular to both B and V. So if charge, that is what I told, at different cases, you come to know when the charge at rest are moving parallel, the field produced by the charge will have no interaction, no force. maximum interaction wet in interest perpendicular to the field. In other cases, depending on the interaction, different magnitude of the force appears. I hope you have understood the reason. The interaction of the field of the charge with the existing field causes the force to appear on the moving charge in the magnetic field. Now, how to find the direction? Now, however, you come to know the two cases. Minimum force is minimum equal to 0 when theta equal to 0 or 180 degree. Again, I am saying force may be 0 if charge at rest. No charge. If you place the neutral particle, if you place a neutral particle in the magnetic field, you will not experience a force. If the velocity is 0, because q0, v0, even moving charge, but v0 will not experience any force. These are the cases where force is 0. Whether the charge move parallel to that or charge is 0, velocity is 0, v is 0. Further, in this case, path of the charge particle is a straight line. Path of the charge particle. That means in the direction of the field, if the charge particle is moving, no force, its path is a straight line. Either in the same direction or in the opposite direction it moves, path is a straight line. Straight line path under these conditions. This 0 or 180, in this case no force at all. Force is maximum equal to BQV. Path it describes is a circle, I take later that case. Path it describes is a circle in case maximum force when theta equal to 90 degree, we just concluded here. Coming back to this direction, if it experiencing a force while moving in the magnetic field, what is the direction exactly the force? I already told it is in a plane because it is a cross product of V and B. You know, you can use the FLR means Fleming's left hand rule. Fleming's left hand rule gives you the direction of the force experienced by a positive charge. I am saying positive charge. It only holds good for positive charge, which I am giving the direction of Fleming's left hand rule. So stretch your first three fingers of the left hand, mutually perpendicular direction. Let this is the forefinger. Forefinger represents the magnetic field. Forefinger in the direction of magnetic field. Middle finger the direction of the positive charge, velocity of the positive charge. Velocity of the charge, velocity vector, field vector. Then thumb represents the direction of the force experienced by charge moving in a magnetic field. See now, these two are in one plane, whereas thumb in the perpendicular plane. Perpendicular to both. It is perpendicular to V, perpendicular to B. The force is perpendicular to both, whatever may be the angle between V and B. So this is the thumb in which direction the force experiences. I hope you are followed. Forefinger, stretch the first three fingers of the left hand, mutually perpendicular direction. Forefinger represents the field, middle finger represents the velocity of the positive charge, then thumb represents the direction of the force experiencing by that charge. That gives you the direction of the force. And one thing I tell you here, the third point coming to this vector and other, that if you observed here, F and V, because force and V are perpendicular, this suggests that you know F dot V is a power. F dot V, dot product F dot V, as they are perpendicular, means theta is 90 degree. Theta is 90 degree between F and V. FV cos 90 is 0. That means power 0. Power is rate of doing work. Work done is 0. Also change in kinetic energy becomes 0. That is the beauty of this concept. You remember correctly, cross product, F and V are perpendicular, therefore power dissipation is 0, work done by the charge in the magnetic field is 0, kinetic energy, change in kinetic energy, work done, energy theorem you studied in the first year, all these three become 0. So in the next part I tell you even the speed and momentum changes, but only in direction, magnitude is not changing when it enters perpendicular to the magnetic field. However, I hope you are followed the force experience. The reason I told a moving charge produces a magnetic field, when it interacts with the existing field, there is a force on the charge. If there is no interaction, no force. Given by this, QVB sin theta is a magnitude, minimum and maximum when it is moving parallel to the magnetic field and path is a straight line. Minimum is 0, no force at all. Maximum force in which it describes a circle and theta is 90. F dot V, the power is 0 or work done is 0 or change in kinetic energy become 0. So this called as a, let us coming to the other part of that. Direction of the magnetic field, direction of the force experienced by charge in the moving in magnetic field is given by the Fleming's left hand rule. So you come to know the case 1. If theta is 0 or 180 degree in the direction of B, when it enters parallel to the direction of B or opposite to the direction of B, path is a straight line and force it experiences is a 0. That one thing is clear. Now coming to the case 2, when it enters perpendicular to the magnetic field. So I am considering a magnetic field which is into the board. I consider the magnetic field is acting into the board, perpendicular to the board and into the board. So let us see what happens to the magnetic field. When I made the charge Q to enter the magnetic field you think acting perpendicular to the, this is the velocity vector I have taken. Now the magnetic field is acting. Let us see the force. This is the direction of the magnetic field. Charge is moving in this direction. The force you see the parallel to the board upward. That means there is a force acting on when it reaches to, and there is a force acting towards the center. And this is the velocity vector acting along this direction. Because of this force, the track changes and particle moving in this direction. When come to here, again apply the rule. You are seeing that the force is acting towards the center and again it changes. From this position again, if you take the tangent. So the force act towards the center. This is the velocity vector. Similarly, this velocity vector make it resultant. So again it moves towards this direction. And the force again turns. This is the towards. And similarly travel like this. So the direction. And force is always, you are seeing that direction of the force applying Fleming's left hand rule. So that again it is moving towards this direction and that coming towards the, and every time we are seeing it is the force, magnetic force is appearing to be a centripetal force on it and makes the charge to describe a circular path. So neatly we can observe this in the case of that and entering here. So what we observed is any position you move, as this is the direction of the field and this is the direction of the charge motion, field is into the board. So any point you come to know, the direction goes on changes. Every position, if you see, that is acting into the board, the field, into the board field, velocity as perpendicular direction changes, inward force at every point visible. That makes the charge to describe a circle. If this is the field, just imagine in the direction the charge describe a circle. When it enters perpendicular to the magnetic field, that theta equal to 90 degree, perpendicular to that angle between B and V. So the force at this point, you can see the force is acting inward and velocity vector is upward. B is into the board, shown here. And even it come to here, the force is towards and acting outward. Every position you can see the charge and coming to here. So it appears to be describing a circle. Perfectly it describes a circle in that case. So however, you come to know what happens then in this case. When the charge enters perpendicular to the magnetic field, we come to know path is circular. Suppose if I take this as a z direction, it is x and this is y, and z direction magnetic field is into the board minus k. Now circle is described in the plane xy. If B is minus k, in the xy plane we are getting the circle. That means the charge describe the circle in a plane perpendicular to the direction of B. XY plane the circle is exhibiting, B is acting in the Z direction. The second, you come to know work done and change in kinetic energy 0. Because when it describes a circle, you also studied in case of the first year work power energy, when the force and displacement, this is the velocity vector and displacement vector and force vector. Angle between them is 90 degree. Work done is F dot S 0. Work done is 0. Kinetic energy is 0. But speed and momentum remains the same. Only changes in direction. It describing a perfect circle. You also know velocity is different, only the direction changes. M into V is a momentum. So magnitude of momentum and speed remains same, but only we are seeing continuously changes in the direction. That is what we observed in this. And we are going to show again another one point I clear you here. The fourth one, period of revolution of this charge in the magnetic field, or the frequency of revolution, or angular frequency. All the three. So this period equation 2 pi m upon bq, or frequency expression bq upon 2 pi m, or angular velocity expression we get bq by m. In all these cases we are seeing that it is independent of radius and velocity of the charge particle. Depends on mass and charge, magnitude of the field, no doubt. This we define, it depends on the specific charge and magnetic field, but it is independent of the radius and velocity of the charge particle. So these points you have to remember correctly to solve the questions of entrance. You remember when in the magnetic field, if you place a charge at rest, won't experience any force. If it is traveling parallel to the magnetic field, no force. No force because there is no interaction of the charge of the magnetic field of the charge and the magnetic field. But when it enters perpendicular to the magnetic field, it describes a circle, path is circular in the xy plane perpendicular to B, no work is done, no change in kinetic energy, speed and momentum magnitude remains same, only we are seeing changes in the direction of the speed and momentum, no magnitude variation. Period, frequency and angular momentum of the charge particle in the magnetic field is independent of radius of the circular path describing or velocity vector. So that is important point you have to remember. And for the board exam concerned, as for board exam, one small derivation I am showing you here. For 3 marks for board exam, important, you come to know when it enters perpendicular to the magnetic field, when charge q enters perpendicular to the magnetic field B and V the angle, describe a circle of radius r. Describe a circle of radius r, then necessary centripetal force. Centripetal force to describe this circle is provided by the magnetic force. Centripetal force, you know, mv square by r is equal to bqv sin 90. So this is bqv sin 90, sin 90 you remember. Now get the radius expression, radius of circular path. Radius of circular path mv upon bq. We got this equation. You know from the first year this is me square by r and a bqv sin theta, sin 90 is 1, we got this. Period of revolution. Period of revolution of the charge T can be written as 2 pi r by v. What is r? We can substitute from this. mv upon bq into v. We get cancelled. Period, we got equation 2 pi m upon bq. This is what we written here. And further, if you want, frequency is reciprocal of period. That become bq upon 2 pi m. And angular frequency is 2 pi f. Angular frequency equal to 2 pi f. Therefore, this becomes bq by m. So, this expression you are asking in the exam to derive from this concept for 3 marks. In the board examination, if they are asking you to derive the expression for angular frequency or angular velocity of a charged particle moving in a magnetic field, just take a charge of value q and mass m moving perpendicular to the magnetic field B with a velocity V, then it describes a circle. The necessary centripetal force to describe this circle is given by the magnetic force, and write this and get the radius expression as mv upon bq. Radius depends on momentum and field and charge value. Period of revolution is circumference, distance covered to complete one revolution is 2 pi r by velocity. R substitution do from here, we got the expression for 2 pi m upon bq. Frequency is nothing but reciprocal of the period. 2 pi if you take other side, that become angular frequency equal to bq by m. An important derivation asking you in the examination. In this, let us see the other part of this charge moving in the magnetic field. So we got radius expression as mv upon bq. mv is nothing but momentum, p, momentum. Therefore, radius can also be written as p upon bq. And you studied again kinetic energy can be written as a p square by 2m. If I substitute for that, radius is given by root of 2m ek by bq is another relation. But ek can be written as qv. It is the potential difference in which the charge is moved before entering into the magnetic field. The kinetic energy that it is initially having before entering the magnetic field is qv, where v is the potential difference which is used to accelerate the charge. Then radius is given by root of 2mqv divided by bq. If I take whole inside, q taking 2mv upon bq. Because when you take inside, it becomes q square, it is b square. So suppose this is the potential difference in which I made the charge to enter this magnetic field perpendicular to, this is the field into the board, potential difference applied. If I take the proton or alpha particle has a charge of alpha is 2e and mass of the alpha particle is 4m. Proton has a charge of proton is qe and mass of proton is em. When I accelerated through the same potential difference, both of them, find the one example I am quoting here. I considered a proton, potential difference is V, through which it is accelerated and then made to enter the magnetic field. This also describes a circle and this also describes a circle. Question is, compare the radius of the proton to that of alpha particle, the circles that describing by them. If you look into this equation, clearly suggest R depends on root of m by q. Because potential difference same, magnetic field same, 2 is common. M and q only can change. So I can write this equation as mp by m alpha into charge alpha by charge of proton. M is direct and q inversely. So when I taken the mass of proton as m, mass of alpha is 4 times of m. Charge of alpha is 2e. This is e. When you cancelled, you got 1 by root 2. So you got the answer. Rp by alpha is 1 by root 2. or Rp is equal to R alpha root 2 times. Which is higher? Radius of the alpha particle is higher by root 2 times. Alpha particle describes a larger radius compared to the proton. How much? Root 2 times. One example I quoted. The question may come from this in entrance. Depend on mv, or depend on momentum, depend on kinetic energy, or depend on potential difference, mass and charge of the particle, asking about the radius. This is about the force experiencing by a charged particle when enters perpendicular, it describes a circle. Let us see the another case. One case we have taken theta 0 or 180 degree, path is straight line, force is 0. Second, when theta equal to 90 degree, path is circular and force is maximum equal to BQV. Now the third case, theta may be any angle greater than 0 but less than 180. That means I can say other than 0 degree, 180 degree or 90 degree. Because these specific cases we know already. What happens when it enters like that? However, we taken the B along horizontal path. Now this is the charge Q entered with a velocity V, making an angle theta with respect to magnetic field. I can resolve this velocity into two components. One V parallel to B, parallel to the magnetic field, V parallel. Adjacent side by hypotenuse is cos theta. This become V cos theta. Another is V perpendicular you define. What is V perpendicular? Is opposite side by hypotenuse. I can write here as a V perpendicular. I resolve the velocity vector of the charged particle, one parallel to B, another perpendicular to B. Perpendicular to B you come to know it is sin theta. Parallel means it may be 0 or 180. Parallel is 0 or 180, cos 0 or cos 180. What makes it is makes the path straight line. That means this component of velocity asking this charged particle to travel along the direction of B. Whereas theta 90, perpendicular component sin theta, this asking the charge to describe a circle, the two members. But two orders are coming to a charge. One component says, no, you should not go perpendicular, come with me along this B. Another order says velocity, no, you have to describe a circle. Now charge replanned its, and it has to obey the both orders. What happens in that case is, slowly the charged particle starting to describe a circle along with advancement in the direction of the parallel component. So we see the path like this. So that it starts describing a helical path. Path become a helix. So that is the mean difference is called as a pitch. However, you come to know perpendicular component made it to describe a circle. What is the radius of this circular path? This describe the radius. mv perpendicular means mv sin theta by q. This made the charge particle to describe the circle. What is the time taken? 2 pi r by v perpendicular only I have to apply to describe this circle. What is r? 2 pi mv sin theta by v sin theta into bq. So v sin theta bq cancelled. What you got is, again we got T equal to 2 pi m upon bq, or frequency equal to bq upon 2 pi m, or angular velocity equal to bq by m. Even in this case, one component is asking to travel horizontal, but vertical component which we considered making the charge to describe a circle, only the radius is somewhat affected by angle, but period, frequency and omega are independent of angle theta. And that remains the same. And this describes a circle. When it describes one circle, one revolution, when the charge complete under this force we considered and accounting. Now what happens to this? It asking the charge particle to advance, which I am calling it as a pitch of the helix. Pitch of helix is nothing but velocity parallel into time taken to complete one revolution. When it describes one revolution, how much the charge particle advanced in the direction of the B is considered as a pitch of the helix. That equal to T is nothing but 2 pi m upon bq into v cos theta, gives you that equation. Remember this, the three cases. Now the path is, if this is the case, path is a helix or helical. The parallel component to B asking to travel along a straight line, perpendicular component of velocity asking it to describe a circle. The combined motion is slowly advancing. While describing the circle, charge slowly advances towards right, advances in one direction, and this kind of travel we call it traced, the path is a helix. 0 or 180, it is force is 0, path straight line. Theta 180, path is circle. 0 or 180, then we come to know path is helix. And here the force is maximum. Here radius, what it describes in case of angle other than 0, 180, 90, R is me sin theta by bq. Period, frequency and omega no changes. And pitch of the helix, I told, linear distance covered by the charge particle in the magnetic field when it described a complete one revolution. Then it is called as a pitch. That pitch of the helix is V parallel into period. And equation you got that one. Just I concluding here, and we have to discuss about the Lorentz force in the next video. So however, today we discussed about what is the force experienced by a moving charge in a magnetic field, why it experiences a force, in what direction moving it experiences force and in what direction do not, when it is maximum, direction, and the other than 0, 180, 90, what are the possibilities of finding the radius, period, frequency or revolution. 3 marks question is most important, derivation of this. Derivation of omega equal to BQM is most important one. So remember in the today's video very carefully the things that magnetic force experiencing by a charge moving in a magnetic field. One thing remember, it won't experience force if it is at rest or if it travels parallel to the direction of the field. In that case, path traced by the charge particle is straight line. But if it enters perpendicular to the magnetic field, it experiences a force maximum equal to BQV. And second, it describes a circle. Path of the radius of the circular path is mv upon bq. Period of revolution, frequency of revolution, and angular velocity or angular frequency I shown. That derivation is important, depends on BQM, magnetic field strength, charge and mass of the moving particle. And also if it is other than those angles, if it entered making some angle theta, the velocity vector then resolving two components, one along axis and perpendicular to the axis. So we describe that, and also I can show with the kinetic energy expression here. Kinetic for not this, generally I take for the other. When it describe a circular path, when theta is 90 degree, angle between B and V, describe a circle and come to know radius of this circle is mv upon bq. What is the kinetic energy of the charge particle is nothing but we are using half mv square. We can use the equation V. V is equal to bqr by m. Another important relation required for entrance to solve the problems, m into v square q square r square by m square, or kinetic energy equal to v square q square r square by 2m. This is another relation you must require to get the solutions to the problems in entrance. When it enters 90 degree, radius and kinetic energy along with period, frequency and angular velocity. When the charge particle enter in a limited magnetic field, to describe what may be the chances. Suppose this is the limiting transverse magnetic field if I applied. Limited transverse magnetic field. Field is out of the board, B. Just I am considering field is out of the board. So this out of the board, and charge I made to enter perpendicular to that. So they may be the stream of charges, this perpendicular. Now this distance separation between them is d. At every point magnetic field is out of the board is acting. Now I am showing the three paths. In one path charge particle just crossing this, it may be A, and another stream that may be B, and another charge particle which strike it, C. Charge may be Q in each case. To describe a semicircle. Semicircle by the charge particle. What is the limiting condition here? So this can describe the semicircle and come out. The reason is R is, radius is less than d, sufficiently less than d. Escape out of this field, can come back. Here it also can describe the circle. So where the second case, A, now we are discussed for B, case B, R is almost equal to d but less than d, equal to d but less than d, then also we can have the chance that it may describe a semicircle, just to describe the semicircle, just to describe semicircle. If this here, R become greater than d, cannot describe the circle. So it strikes at this point. The questions when we are looking in entrance, we must be very careful that if it has to come out of the field, again back to, it should describe a semicircle. Limiting condition is at least it should become equal to d, slightly less than d, then it grazing and emerges again out of it. So that condition also importantly required in limited transverse magnetic field. So with this I conclude today, and let us see in the next video. Once again, thank you.